Campagnolo has launched a new version of its Ekar gravel group set called Ekar GT, and it seems that they've been listening to us as it's now cheaper and it has a wider gear range. That sounds like excellent news for fans of the Italian brand, but even now, before we've had a chance to ride it, there are some questions as to whether this will tempt riders away from SRAM Explore and Shimano's GRX. I'll come back to that. First, let's have a look at those big changes. The standout feature, for me at least, is the wider gearing. Ekar, when launched in 2020, came with a fancy new 9-tooth small cog, but only a 36 or 42-tooth big cog. To get a more gravel adventure-friendly 44-tooth cog, you had to start with a 10-tooth cog, making the gear range not quite as impressive as it could have been. But with Ekar GT, there's a fourth cassette option. You now have the choice of a 936, a 942, a 1044, and a 1048. So yeah, a new cassette at the adventure end of the spectrum, which is great to see. The crankset also, and this is a really nice addition, it also comes with a new 36-tooth chainring option. Pair this with the 10 to 48 tooth cassette and you've got some uber low gearing for gravel adventures. So how does this compare with Shimano and SRAM? Well, all the ratios at the low end are lower than 1:1, but Ekar GT's lowest gear ratio available is 0.75. Shimano's GRX Unstoppable will give you a 0.78 from the 40-tooth chainring and the 51-tooth lowest cog, so ever so slightly harder gearing. SRAM's easiest gearing on its Apex Eagle Mullet is a 38-tooth chainring with a 52-tooth cassette. That gives you the lowest gearing of these examples at 0.73. But if you're looking for low adventure gravel gearing, then Campagnolo just got competitive. This is a move that I think Campagnolo fans will love to see. That hood shape reminds me a lot of the old Super Record shifters, you know the ones. These look really nice to my eyes, so I'm really looking forward to hearing how they perform out on some dusty, well actually probably more like muddy in the UK right now, gravel roads over the coming months. What we can say for now is that the shift logic from Ekar is retained, so the finger paddle gives you an easier gear and there's still a thumb paddle with a twisty sort of design that will put you into a harder gear. The stepped design of the thumb shifter was meant to be easy to operate from both the hoods and the drops. Now, our review over the original Ekar group set found it to work as claimed, even though it does look a little bit funky. The new crankset is, on Ekar GT, made from aluminium rather than the fancy carbon of the original Ekar. That theme continues through the group set. There have been budget-conscious material decisions made, and Ekar GT comes in at $1,599 or €1,490. In British money, pricing is yet to be confirmed, but we are shooting this the day before it's launched, so check out BikeRadar.com for the latest pricing. At launch, the original Ekar group set cost $1,764 or €1,696. So the $165 or €206 saving might not look that impressive. But we have to consider the fact that the cost of materials, shipping, and basically existing have gone through the roof in the last few years, so comparatively, the saving is still a good one. Shimano is still cheaper at around $1,542.92, though this does depend on the build that you opt for. SRAM, meanwhile, doesn't really have an equivalent mechanical gravel group set. It does have the cheaper Apex Eagle at $1,020 or €1,192. But if you do have about $1,600 to spend, you'd get SRAM's Force Explore group set for $1,616. As I'll come to in just a bit, that might be more tempting, but it's brilliant to see Campagnolo bringing their gravel group set to a lower price point. It will just be more affordable to more people, which is great. Campagnolo has claimed a weight of 2.7 kilos, and I was tempted to do a bit of weight weenie comparisons with SRAM and Shimano, but it isn't clear which parts Campagnolo is including in that figure or the configuration, so we'll wait to get our hands on it so that we can give you an accurate figure. What we do know is that the old Ekar came with a claimed weight of 2,385 grams, so we can see that the more cost-conscious materials have increased the weight. So, Campagnolo has reduced the price a little and extended the gearing options, but is this enough to tempt riders away from Shimano and SRAM? My initial impression is that Campagnolo is sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place. If you want to stick with mechanical drivetrains, which many people do, you can have Shimano's GRX RX 820 for less money. Or you might be tempted by the wireless electronic shifting of SRAM's Force Explore for a few more bucks than Campagnolo's offering. That even has a glittery and shiny finish, which we all know is faster. My personal take is that Campagnolo has put itself right in the mixer and offered people a gravel group set option that is right in amongst its key rivals and crucially doesn't require you to spend a load more money to get it. Now, there will always be fans of Campagnolo, but whether Ekar GT provides enough temptation to lure new customers remains to be seen. We'll be getting this group set built onto a frame as soon as we're done recording here, so if you don't want to miss the review of Ekar GT, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Over 80% of you aren't though, so do consider it. We'll be covering all of the biggest cycling tech news throughout the year, which you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and if you do want to see the review of the original Ekar, just click up here.